Hey everybody, welcome to What's New in School for March 6th, 2026. It's a Friday afternoon here. I hope you're staying warm. We're supposed to have some warm weather this afternoon, but it was kind of chilly this morning, like below freezing, and we just got more snow. We've had a ton of snow this year, but that's okay. In any case, luckily I have a good plow guy. So I wanted to, very excited to kind of finish section one. And so I wanted to come back on and tell you about all the new stuff we've done. Let me switch over to the other screen here and talk about what's new since it's been about 2 weeks since last time I was on. So let's talk about new lessons for the PLC courses. So you know I'm focused on my PLC courses, upgrading them all, creating the new ones. And so what I've done is all the courses now have an updated or brand new lesson 102. That's the following along lesson. I wanted to add in more information about the free digital twin we're giving our students. Now, the digital twin doesn't work with the Micrologics, Slick 500 or PLC 5, so not those students. I got an idea for something else for those students. I built something in Factory IO that I want to give those students, but that'll be later. In any case, Compact Logics, Control Logics, Micro 800, S7, you guys all get a free digital twin with a 90-day license for PLC Lab 3D Studio, which is super cool. Basically, if you guys haven't seen the previous episodes, it simulates an entire machine, so free to use with the course. The machine is the machine I created and designed for the course. So in any case, I updated lesson 102 with that. And if you guys watched the previous episodes, you saw that I'm giving you guys free HMI projects, right, for all the Allen Bradley courses, right? So I added all those start files. I wanted to add image, some video of those HMI files to lesson 102, so I did that as well. Before it was just a blank screen. It says, hey, you want to use our HMI files? There was no video because they weren't done. But in any case, also lesson 103 completely updated or new, depending on which lesson it is. This has details about completing the hands-on exercises. Those two lessons are both free preview, meaning anybody can watch them, even if they're not logged in, if they're guest, random, public people. And then lesson 104, I had in each of the lesson 104s, I had updated them late last year. To make sure I had a nice updated tour of the hardware that's used in each course. And of course, I have the new layout for the new courses I'm filming this year. So I went back and I updated all of the lesson 104s to include a tour of the digital twin. Again, not the PLC basics because it won't work with the Micrologics, but to include a tour and even to show you for the S7, for the Control Logics, Compact Logics, Micro 800, how to import the tags from the digital twin so you don't have to type them in manually. Okay. And I also created new start files. So all those platforms I just mentioned, I updated all the start files to include those digital twin tags. Now with the S7, because it used I/O that I already used in the course, so it's kind of like an either or. Either use the one for the hardware or the one for the digital twin. Like, why would you use the digital twin if you already had a bunch of lights and buttons wired up to your PLC? You wouldn't. So, it's either or. Are you going to wire stuff up to your PLC, your S7, or are you going to use the digital twin? Because the course uses the same inputs and outputs that the digital twin does. So in any case, those are up for the S7 and also I updated all of the other start files for the Micro 800, Compact Logics, Control Logics. Also, this took quite a time to go through and get an updated list of all the parts I use, the push buttons, the pilot lights, the photo eyes, the inductive proxies, just so many parts, the motors, I have different motors running at different RPMs. All of that stuff now is in Appendix P. So I talk about Appendix P in the lessons 1.x, and that is now updated. Links to the online sources where I bought them. I have two sources. I live in the middle of nowhere. You may have heard me say this before. So I don't have an industrial supply house down the street, and I'm not big enough to get the attention I've tried of some of the major industrial houses. I've tried a couple of the big name brands, and I just get crickets back. So I order online, and it works out for me. So I've included links to those. Some of them are very inexpensive. Some of them are just, it's pure industrial, so it's regular price. But if you want to know what I'm using here, then you'll see that now in Appendix P. And Appendix T now is where I have all the information about the trainers I built. And I want to expand that over time, but for now it's going to stay the way it is. And then I went ahead and updated lesson .02. That's where I put all the updates to to the courses. So if you're in a particular course, you say, what did Shawn do for this particular course? Like maybe if you're in the Micro 800 course, so you'll see there that something that's done in the other courses where I did a new unboxing of a brand new Series B Micro 820. I wanted to get one of those in. $250, first of all, the starter pack's a great deal, but I wanted to get one of those in so we could do Design Workbench in the new course along with CCW 23. So, in any case, all the Ellen Bradley courses got brand new 1.0 courses. With the new courses coming out, I wanted to make it very specific for anybody who buys PAC Basics or Compact Basics or Nano Basics. I wanted to be very specific of what that legacy course covers, right? And I think all those courses are still phenomenal, and I've gave them updates last year. For instance, the Compact Logics and Control Logics courses, I updated them with information about the new look and feel in version 31 through 38 versus 30 through version 1, I guess. And but in any case, now I'm putting all my efforts into the brand new courses, which all those students get for free anyways. Also, Lesson 101. I did Lesson 101s for all the new courses and all the existing courses to really drill in on what's covered in each course. And so that's that. And then on the S7, it's off the page here. Oh, there it is. I wanted, if you're in the S7 course, it got, up here where it says all PLC courses, this was updated for the S7 as well. But in addition to that, the S7 got new start files. So I pulled up TIA Portal 16. I got the files that I had worked on during that very long course. I've deleted all the program and just give you all the tags. So you don't have to create all the tags. They're already created for you. You just create logic. So, and there is a version of that, like I said earlier, with the one for physical I/O, one for the digital twin. All right, so with that said, that's everything new. Let's talk about what's coming. First thing I want everybody to know is that April 21st to the 24th, we're having training right here. Let me go back to the full cam. So what we're going to have is enough stations for everybody to have their own station. That's number one. Number two is you're going to be able to pick. This is going to be self-paced hands-on with lectures, detailed lectures, and instruction by me. So this room is going to be the self-paced hands-on. I'm going to have all the remote I/O. You can see I only got some of it there. I'm going to have all the remote I/O behind me. And so if you want to come in and you want to learn Compact Logics, Micro 800, or S7 1200, you get the pick. Now, I am offering people, if they want to do 2 days of Compact Logics and then 2 days of Micro 800, that's great. If they want to do 2 days of S7 1200 and then 2 days of Compact Logics, that's great. I have to, as everybody signs up, I have to make sure I have enough hardware for everybody, right? So I have 8 of everything, but I can't fit 24 stations in this room. I do have my eyes on a bigger room to do that, but in any case, then I would need 24 computers and all that, right? So in any case, so it's very flexible. It'll be self-paced. I had somebody ask me, should I go for 2 or 3 days? And I said, you're going to be able to go at your own pace. So I have enough content here for you to go for 7 or 8 days. But if you're really fast at what you're doing, you could probably get through that in 4 days, right? So I wanted to let everybody know that. If you have questions on that, let me know. Go to theautomationschool.com/live. But the lectures actually won't be in the hands-on room because I will be doing lectures on the S7 1200, on the Micro 820, and on the Compact Logics. So I'm not going to do that in here because everybody's going to be going self-paced here, right? Some people may be working on distributed I/O. Some people may be working on factory I/O. Some people may be going through the basics with the trainers in front of them. And so we have another room right there that is set up as a classroom. So I'll pull people out and we'll do the classroom over in the other room. And then they can come back here and do their hands-on. So it's just a way to, get as many people in and let everybody go at their own speed and really focus on what they're interested in. And I'm really excited about it. So that's April 21st. Contact me directly, Shawn Tierney at theautomationschool.com. If you go to theautomationschool.com, you'll see all the links to contact me. There's so many different ways to get in touch with me. With that said, I also wanted to cover what next week's filming schedule was with you. So let me go back to this camera here. And, next week, section 1 is virtually done. There's a couple little tweaks I have to do for lessons 1.5 through 1.20. But now we're on the section number 2. And so lesson 2.00 is going to be new for everybody in all the PLC courses, all the Ellen Bradley courses, because I'm going to cover how to use Rockwell's website today. They change it every year. So I'm updating that for all courses, how to get up there, how to get manuals, firmware, sample code, tech notes, all of that. I'm going to put that all in one lesson that's shared across all the courses because I want to be able to update it on a regular basis, right? So every time Rockwell does a major change to the website, I want to be able to go through maybe the literature library changes or the sample code changes, whatever. I want to walk people through that. So in any case, that'll be a new lesson, lesson 200. That'll be in all courses. And then for the new courses, we'll be going through the critical must-have manuals, right? And so it's very important that you have these manuals, you know where to get that information, wiring diagrams, instruction set references. One of the things I love about Rockwell is their instruction set references. So if you have a question on how an instruction works, yeah, the help is good, but having the manual, sometimes it has more information in it, right? And then we'll do the deep dive on the hardware. So that's next week's, probably won't finish all the hardware tours next week. The following week, I'm out of town doing training for a large vendor's customer. They contract me out to go up and do training. So the following week won't be doing much, but next week we're going to film a ton of lessons, and I'm looking forward to it. And then we're on the section 3, which is software. Once section 2 is done, actually there's 2.5, which is the details about scans and all that kind of stuff, like memory and scans, and especially with logics, how it's asynchronous. So that's the 2.5 sections. But in any case, and then one of the other things I'm working on is bringing back the interview collection. So one of the things you get at the automation school, you get nowhere else, because I interviewed a new vendor almost every week, right? Is you get collections of interviews. So with the Siemens, because they're such a great support, great in supporting us here. We have, I think, over 20 interviews with them. So if you're in the HMI course, you get all the HMI interviews. If you're in the PLC course, you get all the PLC interviews. But for Rockwell, we've had them on over a dozen times, maybe 15, 20 times. And so those interviews, completely ad-free, get added to these collections. And why collections? Well, for instance, I just had the Rockwell guy on talking about version 15 and 16. And he covered both ME and SE. So that's a collection that'll be shared between students in the ME course and the SE course. As far as compact and control logics, well, when we typically have somebody on to talk about that, they're covering both product lines. Not always, but sometimes, most of the time actually. So that's a collection. And then even if you look at the Micro 800, we have the old and the new course, right? So that should be shared between students of both. Of course, if you're in the old, you're in the new anyway. So but yeah, so that's going to be the final other thing I'm working on, is those collections of interviews, hours. In the case of the PLC courses, we're talking 10 plus hours extra of interviews with the vendor themselves. No other course on the planet offers that. Not even Rockwell offers that. So it's a unique thing that we have, along with our digital twin, along with our PLC app, along with being able to, if you buy the online course, you take that cost off coming in person. So just a lot of firsts we do here. I got a lot more things I want to do in 2026 too. But in any case, with that, I have to be careful because for LinkedIn, it can't go over 10 minutes. So I'll have to cut some stuff out for LinkedIn. But in any case, I just want to thank you for watching What's New in School for March 6th. I want to wish you all good health and happiness. And until next time, my friends, peace.